For joining us for our webinar today. My name is Joe Bushnell, and this is...
I'm Nord. I work with Joe. I'm a solutions consultant. Many people probably know me.
For good and for bad here. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, we're enable.services, and like I said, my name is Joe Bushnell. I'm one of the directors here at Enable and a solutions consultant, and Nord is also a solutions consultant here at Enable. We're going to be going over Sugar 25 today, the new version, what's obviously coming out or came out for some people who come. And Sugar 25 is obviously the new vision of Sugar and where they're going. But quickly, for those who don't know about Enable Services, we're a platinum partner of SugarCRM. And we've been a partner of SugarCRM for the past 20 years, implementing across various different CRM implementations and different industries. The reason why we choose SugarCRM is because the flexibility of the product and transparency of the product. And what we're going to be showing you today is obviously the next kind of version, the next kind of UI of SugarCRM and how it works forwards. So yes, I don't know if you want to add anything there from my lovely co-host here.
I think a lot of the changes with this new Sugar version is with the background, with the UI, and just some hidden things that I think many people may not know.
Yeah, and just 1 second. Recording. Right, okay, let's continue. So, sorry, one of my colleagues was interrupting us for an interruption. Joe Barker, who heads our help desk for anyone who wants to name drop and drop him in it. Anyway, so yeah, what we're going to be doing today is obviously taking Q&As at the end. We will, our lovely colleagues Philippa and Emily will be monitoring them and answering where they can, but we'll go through them at the end anyway and just make sure we're actually seeing them. Right, we're going to share our screen and we're going to go straight into product, and we're going to be talking about the product. So hopefully you can all see the new SugarCRM version now. So why have Sugar done this? Why have they obviously raised or created this new 25? So one of the things about Sugar is working smarter, working faster, and making CRM work for you rather than the other way around. Some people feel that they are admins of their own CRM. So what Sugar are trying to do is modernize the interface, making it cleaner, more intuitive, giving a better experience. And that goes around things such as reporting and things like last activity, just try and speed up the users' engagement with the system and giving them quick insights where they can, and also giving them the access where they need it. So mobile, on their Outlooks and their Gmails, or via the web like we're seeing here. So it's really interesting to see where Sugar are actually taking the actual product and understand it. And straight away when we come into actually SugarCRM and the new kind of way of looking, is you'll see that this new interface, this new kind of blue bar around the outside, what we can see here, and this is kind of replicated across across all the versions and all the actual different ways of interacting with Sugar. Sorry, just clear my throat. Go ahead.
Perfect. I also think as well with the new UI design, it's more modern. It's got the rounded corners, it's got the rounded buttons. And I think it has a nice little contrast with the white and the blue. And then if you use dark mode, it's got a nice contrast with, I think, is it dark blue?
Yeah, so we're going to dark mode and we just quickly show you. So if you don't know how to do this and get to dark mode, you go into your profile at the top right, go to edit, go to advanced and scroll down. You'll see down here somewhere, if I'm not absolutely,
You've
no,
got scroll up.
completely blind. There we go. We can see this live. But you can see appearance light. If it's using system setting, that means obviously your admin panel may have changed it, but light and dark, we go to dark and we go to saved. It doesn't hurt anyone. It's not going to cause concern for anyone, but you can see that it goes to that dark mode, and this is where Nort was just saying that the blue around the outside goes darker, we've got shadows, and it's just a nice crisp interface, what we're seeing in this aspect, and all of the charts and all that kind of, they're quite vibrant in that aspect, aren't they?
100%.
Yeah. So when we actually look at the new modern design, how I see this is it's more polished. It's actually looking at the users. So one thing what users said in the past is that there's not enough color in sugar. So you can see when we hover over the navigation bar, for instance, we're seeing color come out. And this works on both the dark mode, like I said, and also light mode. So we're just going to go back to light mode just to show you how easy it is to move back and forth. Go save, come back to light, and you can see again those. If I go open up navigation bar, you can see the colors coming through. So Sugar are trying to incorporate the colors. The reason for this is because of obviously web accessibility, such as WCAG for people who obviously need that kind of thing, is to make sure that the system is just easy to actually interface and actually look at. What they've also done is things like the floating buttons, they've cleaned all these up so they don't feel like a nuisance down in the bottom right. And you can also move these around if you wanted to, pin to the top, pin to the bottom. So it is completely up to you and how you actually interact with these kind of interfaces. What they've also tried to do is focus the middle part, this dashboard, what we're looking at here. They've tried to bring that out. So that's why it's not the dark blue behind it, because they're focusing on the sensor. So they're trying to bring the relevant information in the one view and pull it out of the actual screen at the users. And like I said, those floating buttons just look a little bit more polished and a little bit more clean, what are in the bottom right of the actual system. Anything you want to add on that one?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, it's just that the beauty about this is they haven't just thought about this, as in Sugar haven't just thought about this on the actual UI here. If we go into some things like Gmail and things like this, you'll see that even the actual interface with Sugar Connect has changed, and all the colors are coming through. So you can see that we use Sugar internally, but they've cleaned this up as well as the mobile app. So when we look at the mobile app as well, and we bring across the mobile app, just have to log into the mobile app. It always logs like lovely mobile. There we go. But the mobile app as well has been cleaned, and you can see that also has the same consistency and everything else coming through. So when we go into a record, we're seeing the blue, we're seeing consistent records, and that supports the offline capabilities as well. So it pulls it all the way through. So they're not just talking about the Chrome or Internet Explorer or Firefox or what, I don't even know what one you use. What's the browser you use now?
Firefox.
No, you use that one up there behind me.
Firefox.
Firefox, okay. We'll let them have Firefox. Okay, so it's really interesting to see the actual colors and see how the modern interface is working. Also, you can change the logo in top left as always if you want to, but that's going to actually come through. So one of the key features of Sugar, what they've done in the future in this release is what? What's our next part?
It's an option in reports called Show Distinct Results. This is amazing, and I think it's going to help a lot of people because
What's it do?
what it does is if you have a report
Yeah.
that goes through multiple relationships, putting in different data, I'm pretty sure many people on this webinar, if you've never seen Sugar before, have seen that there's duplicate results because it goes through so many hoops to relationships. It's going to show multiple data because it matches the criteria.
Yeah.
So Sugar saw that, understood that was an issue, and going forward, they've now added an option in reports called Show Distinct Results, which essentially removes all the duplicate results. Oh, it does its best to. It does mention that obviously some actual records may be excluded depending on your report criteria, but what it does is it cleans up the report so it gets rid of the duplicated results, so you just have one set line in that report for that record rather than having three if there was three contacts linked to it, for example. And then if we go into reports, you will see this option here. If I go into reports, if I just go into this report here, opportunities with contacts, if I click in edit. So after I've filled out my filters, my display columns, and then go to report details, we can see here, there's now a new option under show query called show distinct results. And if we hover over the eye, again, it's just saying this option removes duplicates report results. Duplications may occur when a report meets a certain report criteria and it's pulling out that data.
So if I was reporting, say, across opportunities where I've got multiple contacts, the same contact working across multiple opportunities because of many-to-many relationship, instead of having multiple different contacts in my list, it's just going to show me one.
Yeah. For example, let's say if I raised a quote for you,
Yeah.
and then we also got Philly was part of the quote
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
contact, and it was going to both of you. If I made a report, it would show me two results. With this option ticked, it was only going to show me one because
Yeah.
it only needs to show me one.
Okay, so this is really good for marketing target listing and things like this
I think
because
it's
people
good
don't
for
really think.
marketing. It's also good for anyone that works in the financial sector, because obviously when you're reporting on, won opportunities, or lost opportunities, everything like that, there's sometimes maybe duplicate results which throw your numbers. So this again, it's getting that improved data accuracy, and it's also just removing that manual effort of doing that, removing that duplication in maybe Excel, or adjusting your report to make the duplications more minimal rather than physically just removing them.
I saw one of the new features that people may or may not know, and it's kind of come under the actual radar a little bit, is the consistent report chart color. And we can't show this, but what Sugar have done on the latest version is the chart colors for drop down values are now consistent across all reports and dashboards. What's obviously going to improve on readability, what goes on to that UI and UX kind of
Yeah,
experience. When you've got maybe a user, we've got Jim at the moment in demo users, but if Jim had a sales pipeline and two reports, he should be the same component and the same color based on Jim or
yeah.
that drop down. So it's really quite cool in that aspect because in the past that hasn't happened and it's been a bit confusing and conflicting when you're looking especially at dashboards and things like this.
And I think it's a feature that a lot of the community have requested,
Hmm.
and I think Sugar have in this update have listened to the community and have brought in some of the most rated things that people wanted into the platform.
Yeah, and that also takes us on to the next part. We won't hop onto that yet, but you're right. There's a lot of Sugar has always been absolutely brilliant at reporting. Once you know how to report, it's so powerful, and a lot of people will compare it to like a BI tool with inside the product, and that's why when we look at it, and a lot of our customers bring in their ERP data
Mhm.
into Sugar because the reporting is so powerful. Once that piece of data is there, you can kind of drill down and actually show that and how you want to show that. And that's where as Enable, we look at things like Enable Flow and we pull that ERP data from SAP, Epic, or one of the others, or Zero, or Sage in that case.
Yeah.
There's not an ERP because the reporting is so great. And this is just going to help towards it so much. Okay. And we're actually going through this pretty quick, so we're going to have to come back a little bit. So, obviously, one of the next parts, what we're looking at is Sugar have improved the kind of account management again around that UX and around that kind of understanding of how the sales and service teams may interact with data. Um, and one of the parts, what they've pulled through is the last interaction, doesn't it? Last interaction field.
Love this new field. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. It's so handy. Just if I want a quick glance, be like, has it maybe the account manager reached
Mm.
out just to double check, and I can quickly see in that last interaction field. Oh, okay. Joe had a call yesterday with XYZ, for example.
It's really cool. I've got to admit, I do like it. And this takes us into one feature what maybe people don't know, and that's focused dashboards. Some people
100%.
don't use it, some people do. If you don't, it's just this little block, kind of little cube on the right-hand side of any list view records.
Yeah.
Um, the difference being, if I go into a record card view, I see all the information and all the relationships underneath in the normal way, what you may see. How focus draw works is it's kind of a dashboard within an account. So you can see that in this focus draw, we're bringing through the related records and all of the information. And just on that reporting side of things, one of the parts that we didn't cover just then was the opportunities. Was this? So what we can do is we can bring in again
You can bring
reports,
in any type of report
any
and
into
allow
a
it to
record.
relate to the record you're looking at without modifying the filters. And I think that is such a handy tool. Again, if you're using something like the focus draw, you're able to scroll through your records, and instead of having multiple reports for each account or contact or type of account, anything like that, the report is automatically going to relate to that record
Yeah.
on the fly.
Exactly. So this report here is not just one report. If I actually reset this just to show you, and we just untick this relate from records, you'll see that this absolutely shows everyone. This is the original report. And because we're looking at 5D investments and we tick that box, and it's simply a tick of the box, and we select opportunities over here, it'll then relate. It's just got these 16,000s in October and March 2025 and 2026. So it's really quite nice of you, and it's very easy to pull that through and drag it to the right place in your kind of views to make sure that you're utilizing those reports in the right place. Again, still drillable. Click on it, understand what it is, and be able to click through. So again, that user interface, and we take that reports and that UI. This is where Sugar are going.
And all of that was done in the focus drawer.
And all of that was
You
done on
opened
the
up a
focus
report, drilled in
literally.
without even leaving
Yeah.
that account list view.
Yeah, focus drawer. You can see I've got the list view in the background, what Normus is talking about. I could scroll through if I wanted to, rhymes and reason, tri-state, and I can see, and all of these reports are changing based on the records I'm looking at. So that UI, that UX, that feel of how Sugar interacts and what you can actually show is massive. And you can see that I'm just dragging these around. You can lock these down per system, so you may not want users playing with these, and you can obviously change these because you can then just obviously scroll through multiple pieces of information in one view, and this is where the focus drawer comes in.
And also, your users can make their own dashboards, like they can on the front page. They can make their own focus dashboards, maybe see information that's useful to them.
Exactly. Or you may want to make it for them, then they can manage and they can favorite what dashboards you bring them. And that's the beauty about Sugar now, is like I said, the dynamic, the transferability, the system that can grow with you in the future, not just now, but you can actually grow with you. And this is what this is doing. And you may have multiple different views. You may have one for accounts, one for sales, one for service. And they may have different views depending on what they want to see. Okay. And different reports for what they want to see.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things we were just looking at was last interaction. And you can see this little field here, last interaction. So what it's looking at is the last call, the last meeting. Is it last task as well? I can't remember if it's the last task.
I don't think that doesn't count as an interaction.
Yeah, so it's just calls and meetings.
Calls and meetings,
yeah.
indeed. Yeah.
So it's looking at calls and meetings, and you'll say that there are add-ons out there. Even us, we've created last activity add-ons.
I mean, you literally see it.
Yeah.
right below.
Right below. Okay. So this part here, this last activity, last call, last email, last meeting, this is called last activity, and Enable have created this. And what it does, it just literally lists the last activity, exactly what it says on the packet. And it's free actually on all of our add-ons are free on Outfitters. So if you do want one of our add-ons now, download it or speak to one of your account managers or speak to someone here at Enable, and we'll give you the code to do that. But right, back to the last action, this new field, what's coming Sugar 25. So everyone has this in their system. So the beauty about this is Focus Drawer. It simply has Focus Drawer next to it. And that sounds really thin, but if I click on that, you can see I'm on Tri-State Medical here, but I'm also in that call I just looked at. So it's really easy to go from this kind of view and bring up the latest call, latest meeting, and actually understand who that was about and not leave where I was. And maybe I want to go, oh, who was that Sandra? Who's that Sandra? I can't remember. Click on her, open up Focus Drawer. Again, you can now see we've gone from contact to the call that we had to the company. Now, and this is the beauty about it. It kind of interacts with itself, and it will update itself going forward. So for account management purposes and things like this, just to not only have the newsfeed, a timeline approach of what's going on, but to have that in view and just be able to click on it to understand what was that last interaction, what did we speak about. It's massive.
It is massive, and again, I'm a multitasking queen. I love flicking through so many tabs. I think you could definitely vouch that you see my screen. It's like a light show, like a light show.
So many browsers.
So seeing how Sugar basically incorporated a tab system in their core platform, where it's like having multiple tabs in a browser, it's great because again, I can click on one record. If I want to look at an account, perfect. I want to look at the opportunity of that latest account. I can view that straight in that focus dashboard, and then maybe I want to reach out to the contact. I can have the contact in a new. I want to call it a tab, but a focus drawer tab. And it's great. It allows me just to streamline everything I do and do it a lot quicker.
And that do it a lot quicker is a great thing to say. Do it a lot quicker. So what Sugar have also done is when we actually create a quotation now, they've just sped up the obviously we sell to companies. Yes, we may deal with companies, but we deal with people. We don't talk to bricks and mortar. We speak to people. So when we're creating those calls, we're creating a call or a meeting of Deborah, Cynthia, Sandra, Judy. Click on them and create that call. Okay. So the reason I'm saying this is when we actually go to create a quote, we also create a quote from a person record. And once we create a quote from the person record, we can then, what it's going to do is, on the new version of Sugar, it speeds up the line items. So these here are line items, and in the past, they're probably able to handle comfortably probably around 10, 15 maybe.
I would say 15 at a comfortable rate. You're pushing it with 20, obviously because of that frame,
Yeah.
the code behind it. It can get a bit laggy, everything like that.
But now it's banging them out. It doesn't.
Jeez.
The way that Sugar have now changed the way that the quotes and the line items work. It can now support in the. I don't know how we haven't really got to the limit yet. We haven't.
But I mean, even that demonstration that you were just spam clicking one of the items in your product catalog. But before, I mean, I
It
love
would
Sugar to
lag.
bits. It would lag, or it would take a little while to catch up.
And then you'd be changing something and it refresh and you'll go, oh my God, I've just lost all my changes. And
Yeah.
you'll be swearing at the system. This is where a lot of the parts of Sugar 25 are in the back end.
Yeah.
Back end that we can't see in the actual system design and the way that the engine is running in the background, the machine is
I
working.
think in this version of Sugar, just in this update alone, I think had the most bug fixes. And then
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
I think
it's a great thing.
I want
Great
to say
thing
this is a good
released.
thing, and they've fixed a lot of bugs.
It is great. Like I said, it's great that they've literally supercharged the engine. That's what I'd probably say. They've fine-tuned the engine, thinking, yes, the UI is great, but we need to make sure the engine is working in the background. That's what Sugar have done.
I mean, for the car people, it's like they've just remapped the engine.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It's had a proper service. Yeah. It's now just not a BMW, it's an MTech. Cool. So also what they've done is things like locking currency rates. So the currency rates don't change while working on the quote. So they've done things like this in the background to sales deals, and it's going to provide stability to those quotations if you are using quotes. This kind of line items also works across the system. So we're showing it on quotes, but it's the same for calls, for any kind of related record embedded into a record.
100%.
Yeah, so it really does work across it. Okay. So obviously we've been going through kind of the top line of what's been going on with inside Sugar and how it kind of works and everything else, but it's quite interesting to see where, like I said, where Sugar are going and what they're doing. So one of the points is on the actual mobile, on the Sugar Connect, you'll see that Sugar Connect on the right hand side is, and we're just going into here. Yes, we've got tracked emails, tracking activities, streamlined. Can't even see that schedule. Thank you. It's a bit small on that screen on mine. But at the bottom here, what a lot of people don't know is that if we go to general options, what we can do is we can go in, if we go into Open Sugar Connect portal, sorry, what we can do is we can actually go into a portal inside of Sugar, and if we log into this one, what one of the functionalities have done is on Scheduler. And Scheduler is brilliant. So anyone who uses Calendly, probably anything like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? There's loads of them out there,
Oh,
but
there's loads. There's people that like Microsoft houses. I think Microsoft have one. I think it's like bookings or something like that.
yeah,
Remember? It's like anything that allows you to send a link or send an availability calendar to, you know, someone external or internal, and they can book a slot that is free in your calendar, essentially.
exactly. So it looks at the Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar and Sugar Calendar as well.
Yeah.
And looks for free slots. And then what you can then build and what you can then have is a landing page. You can create a landing page with the events that are coming through. One of the enhancements of 25, because this has been out there, but one of the enhancements of 25 is you now, against those bookings, you can now put the Teams links and Google links, can't you?
Yeah.
So your meeting locations can be Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, and you can give the people the option to how they want to interact with you on your meeting and how they want to book that meeting with you. And then, like I said, you may then want to display it, and it may have a horrible picture of yourself up top left, in my case, banner across the top, and then they can simply go and book that meeting with you and actually choose that point of when you're available, etc. And that will then take them through kind of a question and answers, and also allow them to choose the meeting platform that they've got. In this case, Zoom in this one, because I've only selected Zoom that they can choose, but it would normally give you Teams, Google. Never do anything live, but
I mean,
gives you
Joe's just a
options.
Zoom warrior,
I am a Zoom
always
warrior.
on Zoom, wouldn't do
Yeah.
anything else.
Unfortunately, that is the point. What you can also do here is create a template for your whole entire company for branding and things like this. So if you wanted to keep it to branding, people can use that template. Obviously, to push it out was a really nice touch when it comes to the actual SugarConnect features, and how we interact with SugarConnect. SugarConnect works in both Outlook Online, Outlook Client, and also Google as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does work across all three kind of platforms that you may be utilizing.
And I think one thing as well with Connect that not many people know is with the old plugin, you had to have your emails open for the calendar sync to work or the email archival to work. The good thing about the Sugar Connect now is because it's an app, as it runs the Google side, it's a Chrome extension, and then on the Office 365, it's a web app that you run. Once you have that enabled and logged in, you don't need your emails open for that calendar sync to work. It will just constantly do it every 20 minutes. Soon's going to be instant. They're slowly rolling it out. And then the same with Google. It will actively keep looking at your calendar every 20 minutes, updating it, pushing it to Sugar, and then checking Sugar as well, pushing that into Google, depending on what your sync settings are. And I think that's it. That is such a great thing for, if someone is off ill, or was on annual leave, maybe they're getting emails in from clients or anything like that, and those emails before they've been archived because they were sitting in the inbox, but it wasn't open, so Sugar couldn't look into it. But with Connect, it actively can look into it, and if it needs to archive anything, it can, and also sync that as well.
So obviously these are some of the features were brought to you so far. So like I said, lots of performance in the background to speed up the system internally, such as quote line items, etc., and any calls, records, subpanels, etc., are all speeding up as well. UX design and this nice blue interface with new fonts and the new discolored designs across both dark mode and light mode across mobile and web. It is really cool. And also, like I said, that last interaction is really going to be more powerful, and it's going to be very powerful for the users and that focus dashboard. So they're kind of what we've kind of covered so far, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as well, another thing that for the remote workers out there or the people that are off site, something that they've added to the mobile app, which I think is really good, is so Sugar already have an integration with DocuSign.
Yeah.
And Sugar also has an integration with SharePoint. Because again, DocuSign, one of the most popular e-signature softwares out there.
Also, you have to have a DocuSign account to use this. If you don't,
Yeah.
you won't work. But yes,
the Sugar license can only get you so far.
Yeah.
And then SharePoint. I mean, and a lot of companies use SharePoint that I've seen and that I've spoken with, because again, Microsoft House, you're going to use those Microsoft products if it's all there. So something that Sugar have added to the mobile app is actual DocuSign support to send documents out, envelopes, as people say, straight from the mobile app. And then also be able to access your SharePoint and upload files into the documents or notes section on the mobile app as well that looks into your SharePoint. Obviously, they have to be set up beforehand. On the desktop, you've got to log into SharePoint to get all that set up. But once you have that all set up, again, if you're offsite, maybe you need to upload a schematic or anything like that. What normal SharePoint users do, and upload that on the fly, because maybe you need to put that on the account record to maybe notify the account manager, be like, oh, by the way, here's all the notes and stuff. I've just added to this account record, and then they can just go straight on there and view it.
I think that is, and again, we go around for that usability, that way of actually interacting with CRM that can work anywhere, offline, online, web, doesn't matter. Some of the parts that people Well, I've just come into this kind of Kanban view, and the reason why I've done this is because not a lot of people know it's there. It's kind of hidden, and it's up here on the top left, pardon my, left and right. Help, please, top right. So you can see it's up the top right here. So if you click on Kanban, it's there. It's called Tile View, and you can get it in your admin panel to put it into across the actual systems. Because yes, this is across leads. It's also across opportunities, but it enables you to like kind of take a person or a record across multiple different stages, and you can see the stages across the top. And like I said, at a default, this works across opportunities and this works across leads. And because I'm zoomed in, it looks a bit like that, but normally it wouldn't be so bang. I've just got a really wide screen here. Hopefully it gives you an idea. So it's one of the features that people don't know it's there. It's a bit like your focus draw.
Yeah.
Unless you know it's there, you're not going to utilize it. But once you do, it's quite good because the focus draw's there. So I can click on it, and again I can go down to Smith and Sons in that list. It kind of gives me that list within a list.
And I think it's so nice as well. Just it's a pop of color.
Yeah.
I think it's so, if you've been, I mean, for the people that can relate, when you're staring at a screen and it's just white, you're getting flashbang every time you go to a different tab. I think just a bit of color, it looks nice. It looks more appealing. And I think as well, which you'll probably go into, it's interactive as well, the tile view, which I love.
It is. You can pull it through stages. You can change those stages because you can change any field in Sugar. So you can change those stages to those different teams, maybe on dependent fields or required if fields, and you can really take it through. You'll see on the top right here, we've got AI summary. So Sugar are going along this Gen AI
Yeah.
summary. And Gen AI is really quite cool. So what we're doing with Sugar, or what Sugar are doing, I'm not here, I'm not one of their product team, so I can't say we, or although sometimes I feel it's a we. So the AI summary is going to be massive. It's across opportunities, cases, and accounts.
Yeah.
And it gives you a summary of those records that you're looking at, and provides different action points and different parts that you should be going ahead with, or helping, or highlighting, or something else. This is coming out in enterprise. I think I heard it's June, end of June. This is coming out on enterprise.
Yeah.
Sugar Enterprise. It's already out Sugar Cell, but it's going to be quite big for those, again, for that UX experience and bringing AI. The difference being is that the Sugar AI is only using the data within Sugar. And that's one of the critical parts here, is that your data is not going out of the system, what means that you're adhering to GDPR and things like this, because you're not having a data risk every time you use AI within the CRM. Sugar is Gen, so it's within the platform.
Yeah. And I also clear as well that Sugar doesn't use the data to train AI models or anything like that. I think that as well, because obviously, as AI is coming as a big thing, your data is your data. So it's not being used to train AI models, and it doesn't leave the server. It doesn't go anywhere and stuff like that.
It's a completely different conversation. But obviously, if you are using AI models within inside of your CRM, you could class it as a data breach every time you use it, because that AI will not just have access to your system; it'll have access to the entire CRM suite. Was quite a risk internally for a company. So, like I said, we've been going through this. We've kind of highlighted and gone off piece to some of the parts that are coming out, and parts that people don't know as well. So one of the other parts that people don't know is Sweet Spot. And I want to bring Sweet Spot up because, again, when we're talking about user interface and how we actually interact with Sugar, lots of people use this global search at the top. Lots of people use this searches on the list views and build their lists here. However, there is another way of doing it, and that's called Sweet Spot. So on a Mac, I think it's Shift Control Space, is it?
Oh, isn't it Control Shift Space?
Control Shift Space, that one there. We're going to see if this works or not. No, it isn't. It's that one. No, that's emojis. See, great here. So on a PC, it's Shift Control Space. On a Mac, it is Command, Shift, and Space. But what you can do here is once you get this little pop-up come up, we can then start typing. It's interactive. It'll bring back the actual data. And if I want to create a call, maybe I can just put call and it will come up with all the things. If I go create, it'll come up with create. So I can really utilize this. What I can also do here is create keywords. So if I was a call center, I may go, okay, well, what I want to do is create, I don't know, I haven't got a call here, but
You can
create
create content.
leads,
Oh yeah,
create
great lead.
lead,
Yeah.
yeah, create lead, and I just want to put one, yeah. So if I put a one on create lead, if I press the right buttons and I put one, goes create lead. So speeding up the process,
Yeah.
goes straight into create lead. So it's about a UX, a UI design. So like I said, a Mac is Command Shift and Space. I think it's Control Shift and Space on a PC, but it enables you to get around the system a lot quicker, and maybe something you don't know what obviously has been there in the past, but not really been focused. It's just been
Yeah,
on the
I
hooks.
mean, going off that as well, I think Sugar have a lot of hidden shortcuts. If you click on your profile at the top and you go into shortcuts here, you can see. Oh, it's
In this demo system, it's not a good
yeah,
example.
this is not good. But essentially, you're able to set up your own key combinations to do actions that maybe are suitable for you. Like here, yeah, I was going to say thank you.
That's right. There we go. Oh, good, great.
Like I said,
Okay.
we don't have it on ours either.
So, what was yeah?
But like you can see on the right side of the screen though, there's global shortcuts. So these shortcuts are again ones that just come default the system. So like Joe said for the sweet spot, because he's on a Mac, Command Shift Space. But again on the Windows it will adjust that for you. And then like you can press C to toggle the quick create menu. So if Joe, fingers crossed this works. Pray it does. Do you mind hitting C for me? There we go.
Oh,
And
yeah,
quick create pops out.
I didn't even know that actually.
Yeah, so you're able to again make it's like automations, but you're able to essentially set up keybinds to go to either certain records or do certain things. Like I think if you're on a record and if you do Control D or if you just press D, by default I think it'll prompt you if you want to delete the record. But they may have removed that now because
Okay, thank goodness.
I think people did complain about it, be like I accidentally pressed it.
Yeah, I was going to say that could be quite dangerous.
But yeah, if you can easily again streamline certain parts of your process with just a few couple of keys.
I think that's the thing is that Sugar are now going, okay, we've got this brilliant CRM, and the CRM is a machine. It can be a, let's put it in context. It could be a motorbike, it could be a lorry, it could be anything what you want it to be, holding data. Be really streamlined, really simple to use as a first-time CRM, but also it could be that enterprise CRM as well. So they're going through these different stages, and you customize and you configure Sugar to be what you want it to be, and it can work across what you want to work across. Okay. So we've got about 20 minutes to go. So we're just going to have a look at some of the questions and then we're going to recap on what we've got here. So 1 second. If we've got the questions, I don't know if Emily or Philippa want to come into conversation and just ask some of the questions.
I think we've got 7. We have one on a chat as well. Right, I'll go through them. Have they improved the reporting charts in terms of customization, colors, labels, and multiple value series?
So yes, they've improved the charting, obviously the color coding. So if you have a drop down, it's consistent across all of the. If you had it on a dashboard, for instance, it's consistent across all of the dashboards. That drop down remains the same, or that person remains the same. So in that aspect, yes, they have the actual filtering of obviously duplicates. They've improved as well. And in the normal Sugar, that you can drill into anything and actually see what you want to see. And that's my career. So as Enable, we provide mobile phones and sort of enable voice. So we'll ignore that. This is live, as you can see, which was great. But yeah, they have improved it, but there's still, obviously, with like everything, there's still parts that could be improved further. Schedule reports is brilliant, and not many people know it's there, for instance, where you can send a report to yourself if you wanted to based on your roles. But yeah, Emily, I don't know if I actually answered that or not, or if I just went around the skirt in there.
That's great. Right, go through. I think we've got 8 more as well. Is the distinct results enabled automatically with the update, or does it need to be enabled?
So Once your system gets updated, the option will just appear there in your report details section. You don't need to enable it anywhere in the admin side or anything like that, or request Sugar, or if you're hosted with us to enable it. It does just appear there in your reports. So once you do get updated, or if you are updated now, depending on what cloud you're on, that report, that option, show distinct results should be there.
Cool, thanks, Rod. And is last activity ready for version 25?
That's a good question. I think
Yes.
we've just updated it, haven't we?
It is ready for version 25. The system that you're seeing now is a version 25 system, and
5.1, isn't it? This one is.
yeah, and the last feed works fine. We may just have devs, I think, just updating the manifest just to say it does work with this. But yes, it should be ready for version 25.
And what modules does the last interaction pull through?
So the last interaction field currently right now looks at calls.
As well as meetings.
Yeah, it looks at calls and meetings. To answer your thing, obviously you saw the email on the last activity. That's because our last activity one looks at additional modules like emails and everything like that.
Yeah.
Where the core Sugar one doesn't currently look at emails.
So we also have, as well as having Sugar Market, we also provide a marketing platform called Mautic. So that's why in ours, we'll also have Mautic last activity as well sometimes. But you can see that outstanding, these are the ones it kind of counts.
Yeah.
Cool, this is a bit of a long one. When editing in the related list module, we have a frequent issue where a record is updated in the background by the API service whilst a user is editing records in the list. The page then resets and the user loses their changes. Has this been resolved? I don't know if this might be.
Multiple people accessing the record at the same time.
Yeah, and in fairness, we used to have that issue here at Enable. It would say, because I'm an admin in the system, it would say that I always have modified a record, and people would actually be like, "Why have you changed this record?" I go, "I haven't." And since this update, it's died down. I haven't noticed that screen pop up or anything like that.
I believe it has actually. It is now allowing you to. Obviously, you've got to be careful because if the API is doing something in the background and you're updating a record at the same time, it's which one's master and which one's not. Are you the master entering the data, or is the API the master? But the answer is yes. It is allowing you. It's taking it down to the field level, I think, in the latest version. So unless you're changing the same field within a record, I don't think it actually comes up anymore.
Yeah.
I think if you're in the same record as in 5D investments, I'm updating industry, and the API updates last call, for instance, last email, it's going to, because I'm not touching that field, it's going to allow us both to work at the same time.
It should merge both
Yeah,
changes.
it should be fine.
Great. And Robert said, I noticed in your demo you are having the pound versus dollar issue in the report dashlets. Are Sugar working on a bug fix for this?
Good question.
Or is that something we don't know?
Yeah, we don't. That's not a question I can answer, Robert.
This one I actually can answer.
Oh, right, okay. You can answer it. I'll be quiet.
Like I said before, obviously Sugar fixed a lot of bugs with this release. On their actual official release notes, they've also got a section called known bugs. And I know that, Robert, this is one of them that is counted as a known bug that they have identified and that people have reported and given examples for. So Sugar are actively looking at it. But unfortunately, because we're not Sugar, we don't know when the fix will go out. But I know they're looking at it because they've actively and publicly put it on their release notes about that issue.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. And John McKenzie said, does this work with Microsoft Edge? I'm not sure what part that was. I probably should have noted it down, so we might need John maybe to put it in chat.
It was to do with the scheduler, guys.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, everything that you've seen on this webinar, John, should work with Microsoft Edge, since Edge is now a Chromium-based browser. So it all should work.
Yeah, we shouldn't have any problems that we have in the past, because Edge has actually updated their internal platforms to work with inside, or for Chrome to work with inside Edge, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
No. So the answer is yes, it should work fine.
Perfect.
And then there was a couple about the AI dashlet as well. Where do you find the AI dashlet, and is the AI dashlet going to be free?
Not sure about the costs. I'm going to say that. Not sure about any costings as yet. I think there will be an additional cost to the AI functionality with Inside Sugar,
I
and
think they're going for a credit-based system, but it's not done by request. I think it's done by how many words are in the query. From what I remember when they first announced AI, that could have changed. So
Yeah.
please don't quote me on that.
yeah. So
But
we will be doing a webinar based on the AI and talking about the AI a bit more and how Sugar and how CRM in general is going to be working with AI, because it is a big subject and a big query of how obviously CRMs in the future are going to work alongside AI. So it will be a future webinar that we have. However, what I would say is we will be coming with all of the account managers will be actually coming to all of our customers with more details on the Sugar AI and any additional costs, if there is any. I think there will be, but I'm not, like Dawn says, we're not sure what they are as yet. Yeah, we'll have to come back to you.
yeah. And then the next one, sorry, we're taking your thunder. The schedule looks like a good idea, but currently the show calendar doesn't sync with our Outlook calendar without creating multiple emails, and we have to have a workaround as there's no resolution for this issue. So the scheduler, I'm assuming, isn't going to work for us either. So, Billy, I'm quite confused why it's sending emails. I don't think it should be doing that.
Looks like a good idea. Well, currently the Sugar calendar doesn't sync with our Outlook calendar without creating multiple emails. We have had to have a work on it. This is obviously Bill. I think what might be worth is this. If you contact our help desk, so we can just actually, if you contact Tom Wilson on the help desk,
Yeah.
and Tom can do come onto a Zoom meeting or a Teams meeting, and just go through it, and we can just explain what you're seeing, because obviously not quite getting what
Yeah,
query
that
is. So
doesn't- it doesn't
yeah,
sound-
so
doesn't
maybe
sound like
we
it
can
should be
have a
doing
look,
that.
and it might be a quick fix, or we may be able to advise what's going on there. We ourselves, as an Enable, for those who don't know, we do have a help desk based in the UK, based in this office in Ipswich. We don't outsource anything. So when you do speak to us, our developers are here, our consultants, our project managers are here. We're all under one roof, and that's one of the beauties, that we can kind of get those answers straight away rather than having to go through third parties.
Yeah.
Any other questions on that?
Yeah, we have a couple more. James has asked, does the Kanban feature have to be activated in the admin area, or is it instantly available? Is it the available option?
It's instantly available on leads and opportunities. However, if you want it in other modules such as accounts, maybe accounts by type of customer, you'll see tile view down here, tile view settings, and then you can pick and choose what the other modules that you want them to appear on here, and it will obviously allow you to then choose what are your values and what you want to happen and what you want to display per module up here. So on opportunities, you can see it's changing. I'm looking at sales stage. If I looked at cases, it's looking at status, etc., etc. And if I don't want maybe duplicate, move it out, and it won't appear in my can.
Yeah. Perfect. And then we have another one. We've been advising all users using Connect need permission to delete records in meetings and calls to be able to sync their calendars. Obviously, from an access control perspective, this is less ideal. Has been investigated. So the reason why the delete permissions are needed is because within the sync settings, there's an option to, if the record is deleted, if you go into Sugar Connect portal for me,
Yep.
and then if you go into
Sync or settings.
settings for me.
Yep.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
take one?
Okay.
So in the calendar sync section, so here I configured all of our settings for Enable. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I did all our settings at Enable just so it matches with our policies and everything like that. So here, the reason why that delete permission is needed is because in Sugar Connect there's an option about delete cancelled events. We've set this to always disabled because here at Enable we have restricted delete permissions because of, I'm pretty sure, ISO and everything like that. So that is the reason. If that option is enabled or always enabled or enabled by default, if the user hasn't got delete permissions, it causes the sync to fail. But if this is disabled and the user again has limited delete permissions, the sync should work fine and everything like that. If not, again, please reach out to our help desk. I work closely with them, so I can always assist. But you should be able to have your calendar sync on if that delete cancelled events is disabled, and obviously they have restricted delete permissions. And another one, has Sugar fixed the bug where annual reports are not in chronological month order if there is no data in the first row in the import?
I believe they have. I think that's one of the latest bugs that they fixed on the actual answers. I think that is one of the parts on the reporting. When they've been working on the reporting, I believe that is one of the fixes. James, that was James, wasn't it? It was James, wasn't it? Yeah, I believe it's one of the fixes on the
Yes.
latest version, on 25.1. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure that's been fixed now.
And then 2 more. Sarah said, apologies, I missed the start of the webinar. Did you mention when 25 will be rolling out, or will it be automatic, or do we schedule it with our account manager?
No, please schedule it with your account manager, because everyone has customization. Every single person's Sugar system is different. And like I said, that's the beauty about Sugar, is what we don't want to do is put a release to the users and they all go, whoa, what's this? It all looks different. So what we want to do is it kind of doing the staging. So we'll do it, speak to account managers, they'll work with our infrastructure team, and then they'll upgrade it, make sure everything's not broken, any customizations, configurations, and then we'll schedule a time when your users are right to actually release it. But it is available now, yes. So please speak to your account managers, whether you're on cloud or for Enable Cloud, either way, please speak to account managers now, and they'll be able to assist on that.
And then last question that we currently have is, thank you for the demo. You showed SugarConnect earlier. We currently use Implic front end. Does SugarConnect work seamlessly with Microsoft Outlook, both browser and desktop version?
Yeah.
Yes. Since SugarConnect is now an add-in on Office, all you have to do is either your IT team can roll it out across your whole organization, or your users can go into the Office add-in store, just search for SugarConnect and add it straight from their Outlook. Either it's the desktop version or the web version, and it installs to their profile and stores it all in Azure.
And it works exactly the same as what we're looking at here, where it sits on the right hand side. There are some functionalities that we haven't covered in here. So if you go reply, you've got obviously this little button here, what people forget. So insert template, if your marketing team want to put branding or anything, it looks at the Sugar templates.
Yes,
Templates?
yeah, it looks like Sugar templates.
Yeah.
So you can make templates on Sugar, and then I think there's a certain type you have to mark, I think, for SugarConnect.
Yeah.
And then it appears in that list. So again, if you have any like field values that it needs to pull in, if they're a contact in Sugar, like here we can see on Joe SugarConnect. Let's say if we wanted to pull in account type for any reason, we can pull that field in, and it'll just be the field name. So if we're sending this out to multiple people, it will just populate what their account type is if that data exists in Sugar.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it just shows us blank.
Yeah, and then also you've got other parts here, archive with options. What that then does, it brings out kind of a pop-up screen. So at default, when we've got auto archiving turned on, it archives against the lead or contact records.
Yeah.
If you've got archive with options, it opens up and gives you kind of a browser where you can search for additional...
It's essentially that global search in Sugar,
exactly.
but in a pop-up view, and then you can select which records you want to archive this email against. Let's say if this email was about a project, we'll be able to click on the project in that archive options and archive that email because it correlates to that project. So if anyone needs to look at any of the communications about that one project, they can just go straight to that project and see all the emails that have been archived against that project.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
We've got another one. We currently use Ink.
What?
Xink?
Where are you looking here?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry. Xink for email templates. Can SugarConnect replace this? SugarConnect is you can create inside of Sugar. You can create HTML emails.
Yeah.
So you can create HTML emails. You can put tags in them, like hot ref tags, for instance.
Yeah.
So if Xink is currently doing that, and you've got those templates in Xink, and it's HTML based, then the answer is yes, you could then use Sugar. The SugarConnect is not a marketing tool. I'll just put it there, okay?
Yeah.
It's not for marketing, so it's not for blasting or drip or nurture campaigns. It's for individual personal use. If you want to go for that kind of integration, Sugar does have Sugar Market, what's really quite a cool B2B marketing tool. We also have Mautic that me and obviously talk about quite a lot with the integrations. And we also have MailChimp as well, with MailChimp. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't know how I forgot that one. But yeah, multiple different options. But the answer is yes, you could replace your email templates Claire, if you wanted to, based on that. But if it's nurture email campaigns, I'd look at the other three.
Yeah.
Personally. Right, is that all of our questions?
Yeah, that seems good.
So, like I said, recap on obviously Sugar 25. There's lots of changes to the interface. The core changes running outside, like I said. Reports have had a major overview or overview. Sugar have brought in more colors to enable users. You can change these icons and colors, by the way, as well. I didn't say that, but you can change them as well to what you want to be. And really it's made the actual interface a lot faster and a lot cleaner. So thank you so much for today. We're finishing 5 minutes early. Well, thank you so much for today. My name is Joe Bushnell. This is
I'm Nord.
Nord. We're enable.services. If we can help with anything CRM related, whether that be SugarCRM or another CRM, please get in contact. We are an integration house as well, so we deal with lots of different integrations with Enable Flow. So please talk to us about that as well. But like I said, if we can help or if you just need support, contact the help desk. We'd love to speak to you and hear from you. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great day.